This is XY Spark, restoring holistic, healthy masculinity. Thank you once again. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining us here on the XY Spark podcast. This is the podcast for men where we seek to normalize conversations about men's mental health. And it is a Thursday. It is a Thursday. And today we are here just to chat with you under the caption Transformation Thursday. Transformation Thursday. We do hope that so far you've been having a great week. We are just excited to be here with you one more day to create a space to speak about men's mental health and wellness. We know that mental health is not a myth. And we continue to encourage all our listeners, all our viewers, whether you are live on YouTube, live on TikTok, or you are live on the podcast at xyspark.podbean.com. We just want to reiterate, guys, that we are here every weekday morning at 5:30 a.m. Mountain Standard Time to continue to have these conversations about men's mental health and wellness because we know that mental health is not a myth. And none of us, it doesn't matter your age, class, race or ethnicity, you are not immune. As a man, you're not immune to being impacted by mental health. And so what we're seeking to do here is to facilitate conversations and to create a safe space where we are able to break the stamina of the stigma about men's mental health. So thank you for joining us. If you're live on TikTok, we want to send a shout out to you. And we just want to say, hey, wherever you are joining us from, just type in the chat because we would like to just send a special shout out to you wherever you are located right now. We also wanted to say thank you to those new subscribers that we have had here on TikTok, on YouTube, and even on the podcast. And you can find the podcast on Spotify, on Amazon, on iTunes. We are all over on iHeartRadio. You can go and look for the XY Spark podcast and you can listen to more episodes similar to these just to seek to give you more insight and to seek to give you more tools that you can utilize to maintain your mental health and wellness. And so today, the theme is Transformation Thursday. And what we're going to be talking about today, guys, is one of the biggest lies that were ever told. One of the biggest lies that were ever told. And I wanted to just start off by asking you a question. Have you ever been deceived? Has anyone ever lied to you? And how did you feel? And you may say, but Rolando, that's a no brainer. When someone lies to me, I feel disappointed. I feel disrespected. I feel the person does not value my friendship. And so, if you have ever been lied to, I can relate because I've been lied to before. And it's such a difficult thing for you to regain trust. It's such a difficult thing for you to be vulnerable around this person again because they lied to you. They broke that trust. They broke the confidence that you had in them. They make you feel a lot less secure around them than once before. So all of us can relate to being lied to. We were lied to. Some of us were lied to by close friends. Some of us were lied to by partners that we were in relationships with. Some of us were lied to by our employers, and we can relate to being deceived in so many different ways and from so many different sources. And today we are going to talk about one of the biggest lies that were ever told. And men, I want you to believe it, and I want you to think about this, because one of the biggest lies that were ever told, it was told to us. Yes, it was told to us as men. And we have been living our lives on the foundation of this lie that was told to us for for centuries. And that lie has become so much a part of our lives as men that we refuse absolutely to go or do anything that's contrary to that lie, because that lie, guys, has now been presented to us by other men as truth. That lie has been presented to us by society as truth. That lie has been presented to us by some of our partners, by our siblings, by our mentors as truth. And we have believed this lie now for centuries. So, what's this big lie that we've been told as men? And if you're live here on the podcast right now, I'd like you to just type in the chat what's one of the biggest lies that you were ever told? Or if anyone has ever lied to you, what was it about? Because here are a few things that happens to us, why it's easy for us to believe, or why it's easy for us to be distracted by lies. Number one is sometimes we don't take enough time to examine the source of the information, because oftentimes the people who lie to us are oftentimes people who we trust, people who we consider to be a good, reliable source, people who we consider to know what they're saying, people who we look at oftentimes and we say to ourselves, well, I don't know and they know, so I need to listen to them. And we don't pause to question it. And so we embrace this lie because in our minds it is coming from a credible source. Why would they not be truthful? Why would they want to deceive me? Why would they want to distract me? Why would they want me to leave? And in my mind, why would they want me to leave and not be successful? So we pick up these lies from so many different sources, so many different places, and one of the easiest ways for us to be deceived is from people or places that we consider to be a good source, a credible source. And here's what's tricky, guys, and here's what's scary. Sometimes, and in many cases, what we find ourselves doing as men is that we are celebrating the concept of this lie at the cause of so many different things. Because of this lie that we were told as men, we are self-destructing. Because we believe this lie so much, we're harming our relationships. Because we believe this lie so much, it is preventing us from seeking to connect with healthy community supports to give us tools that's going to make us the better version of ourselves. So, this lie that we've been embracing and this lie that we've been following through with, it has become almost like a gospel for the male community. It has become like the blueprint for the male community. This lie that we have been embracing as men, it has been holding us back from breaking cycles. It's been holding us back from confronting stigmas. This lie has been holding us back from doing something that is not written on the script. Because you see, the funny piece about this lie is that it is almost a well scripted documentation that has been handed down to us as men, and we play the role without even recognizing that the role that we're fulfilling or the thing that we're doing now is grounded and rooted in a lie. So what lie is it? What lie is it? Are you curious? I'm going to tell you what lie this is. So just stay with me. But I want you to just take the time to reflect a little bit on what is this lie, because this is one of the biggest lies that was ever told. And some of us as men, and ladies do it too, sometimes there are women who make men believe that if they are not fulfilling the role of this lie, then they are not man enough. So we embrace this lie. Women embrace this lie. Men embrace this lie. And because of embracing this lie, it is impacting our personal lives, it's impacting our professional lives, it's impacting the perspectives that we have as it relates to our worldview of what it means to be a man. And we continue to create spaces. And here's what's scary. This lie is oftentimes embraced by the military. This lie is embraced by police officers. This lie is embraced oftentimes in the judicial system. This lie is embraced in churches. This lie is embraced in many personal relationships. This lie is embraced by sometimes these Fortune 500 corporation CEOs and executives. And this big lie has become almost a mandate that is followed through by so many, for some in ignorance, for some in the unwillingness to seek to find any other alternatives, and for some, they just choose to not want to know of any other possibilities. And if you're joining us live here on TikTok or on YouTube, thank you for joining us. I just encourage you guys to keep those likes coming, keep those hearts coming, share this podcast with somebody. If this is your first time, we appreciate your presence. You are in tuned right now to the XY Spark podcast. This is the podcast for men, where we seek to create a safe space to normalize conversations about men's mental health. Because we know that men's mental health is not a myth. And we also know that it is in normalizing these conversations that we're going to be able to create a new perspective, that we're going to be able to connect with more men, that we're going to be able to empower more men in our community to be the best version of themselves. So, what we're talking about here today is the biggest lie that was ever told. The biggest lie that was ever told. So, as you were saying, is that because of this lie, right, the military functions on this lie, the RCMP function on this lie, right, in several cultures across the planet, this lie is embraced and it is put forward as the mandate that men are supposed to live by, and we follow through. And in so many different societies, this lie has caused hurt, it has caused pain, it has caused disappointment, it has caused so many different dynamics to happen because of this lie. So what's the biggest lie? that was ever told. One of the biggest lie that was ever told is this. Are you ready? Are you ready to hear what the biggest lie is? One of the biggest lies that was ever told to you and to me is that a man, a man, a man must. Are you ready? Are you listening? Listen keenly now, because I want to tell you what the biggest lie is. The biggest lie that's ever told to us as a man is that real men, real men or strong men do not show weakness. Do you agree or do you disagree? That's one of the biggest lies that was ever told to us as men. Why? Because culture does not allow us to be or show any form of vulnerability. That's why it's hard for us as men to talk about feelings. That's why it's hard for us as men to ask for help. That's why it's hard for us as men to reach out when we're struggling, because we were told this lie that you need to be a man, you need to be strong, right? And the interpretation of being strong that was passed on from generation to generation is don't show emotions, don't talk about feelings, don't ask for help, don't admit any form of weakness. And so this lie has become a gospel, it has become a mandate. So all of a sudden, we have men who are telling other men that if you show any form of weakness or vulnerability or ask for help, you're not man enough, you're not strong, you're weak. So the lie that we were told, guys, is what has been affecting us. And it has been affecting us severely as men. Why? Because we are really in that space in our minds where we struggle to let go of this lie because of fear of judgment. We struggle to let go of this lie because of fear of, how do I say it? Because of fear of not being accepted. We struggle to confront this lie, men, because we struggle to not be a part of the pack. And oftentimes, you are a part of a pack of other men who are living their lives based on the concept of this same lie. So, the biggest lie that was ever told to us as men is the lie that this is what it means for a man to be strong. Our fathers told us that. Our grandfathers told us that, right? Or sisters told us that. Or single moms sometimes tell us that. Society has told us that lie. And so on and on and on, we get into that space where we're stuck living our lives within the confines of this lie. So here's the thing. Here's the thing that I want you to ask yourself right now. Who told you that lie? Where did you hear the lie from the very first time? Maybe you gathered information about this lie from your environment, right? Maybe you gathered information about this lie from a partner. Maybe you gathered this information from someone that you have been listening to. You might have been listening to a podcast, or you might have been listening to a preacher or a pastor or a priest somewhere. But wherever you gathered this lie from, I want to give you permission right now to throw this lie out the window. Kick it to the curb right now. It does not mean that you're not man enough, or it does not mean that you're not strong if you talk about feelings. It does not mean that you're not strong if you ask for help. It does not mean that you're not worth it if you decide to seek out supports. That is wisdom. That is what it means to be a man. And being strong is acknowledging the things that's not working well in your life and reaching out to get supports. That's what it is. So, this lie that you've been told, the opportunity is yours right now to break the stigma, break the stamina of the stigma. Stop believing that lie. Get into that space where you are challenging and confronting this lie so that you can become the best version of yourself. I want to close the podcast today with this. It says here, and I quote, "A man who is enslaved by his own ignorance becomes a danger to himself." End quote. A man who is enslaved by his own ignorance becomes a danger to himself. End quote. I want you guys to consider this, that breaking the stamina of the stigma is up to you. And changing this lie or kicking this lie to the curb is a personal decision that only you can make to help you. Thank you for joining us here again on the XY Spark podcast. And I want you to join us again tomorrow morning at 5:30 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, where we will continue to have more conversations like these about men's mental health and wellness. This is your boy, your men's life coach, Rolando. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you again tomorrow morning, same time, where we will have another powerful discussion about how to preserve your mental health. Until tomorrow, never forget this, guys, that at XY Spark, we believe that there is a spark in you. We will see you again next time. Have a great day. This is XY Spark, restoring holistic, healthy masculinity.